right, Brian, we have to start in Buffalo, in Orchard Park, where 35-10 victors in the snowdrift love to see a snow game against the San Francisco 49ers. They've beaten back-to-back games with the bye week in the middle. They've beaten both of last year's Super Bowl teams, and they've beaten them both handily. They've beaten all comers pretty much this season, certainly in the last seven or 8 weeks. For me, this feels like the best team in the NFL right now. I know they top your Super Bowl contenders. There's plenty to break down from this game, but let's start with Josh Allen. And I mean, if you're starting a brand new franchise today, if you've got an expansion team and you can pick any quarterback in the NFL, would you consider taking Josh Allen #1 overall in a redraft?
Jameis Winston? Jameis Winston #1? I don't care about the
pure
pick
vibes.
sixes.
Pure
I want the
vibes.
vibes and the claw win and the 497 yards. #1 overall pick, Josh Allen. And I'm not sorry, Patrick Mahomes. And Lamar Jackson is really good. But consider this. I was saying, while you were setting this
Joe
up.
Burrow as well, I want to put out there, had
Yes,
a great season
yes,
this year.
100%.
But as an all-round quarterback who just does everything, the run game, he's just completely buried the bad interceptions. I think he's had one multiple interception game
incredibly efficient
all
this
season.
year.
So efficient. The offense is working around him. I'm taking him #1 overall.
He loses Stephon Diggs, he's better. He's had playoff heartbreak, and he's better for it. And I was just writing about him, doing a story for talkSPORT.com, Will, from a small town in California that nobody's heard of before, could not get a Division I scholarship, went to junior college, made his own huddle highlight reel, sent out mass emails to coaches, please, would you take a look at my highlights and maybe sign me, goes to Wyoming, goes #7 overall. Bills fans didn't want him. NFL people didn't want him. I was actually reading some insane blog today where they said if he was going to be an absolute disaster in the NFL, and he has gotten better and he has evolved. And yeah, Patrick Mahomes historically is better. He has the 3 rings, the Super Bowl MVPs. He is Showtime Mahomes. He is the heir to Tom Brady. Lamar Jackson is the dual threat. But right now, as we speak, Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. And if you pull the stats, I was looking at this too. The completion percentage is not elite. The passer rating is good, not elite. Quarterback rating is actually better. He's second in the NFL to actually Kyler Murray. It is the leadership. It is the winning games. It is his ability to run. You can tell that the fans and the team believes in him. And if the Super Bowl was played right now, the Buffalo Bills would be in New Orleans. I would take Josh Allen #1 and then Jameis Winston #2.
I think it is fascinating to me, that idea that you have to make the Mahomes and Allen comparison if you're going to redraft this league, right? And I have no issue with anyone saying they take Patrick Mahomes #1 overall. I think from a talent perspective, he is the best player we have ever seen play the position in the NFL. But you do have to look at circumstantially, best head coach, best talent around him. Okay, he's got over a bad offensive line throughout most of it, but a great defense the last 2 years as well. He's had everything he needs to make that work. He's also pulled it out of his backside when he's needed to. What I really like what you said there is about Josh Allen's improvement. You look at year 1, and the inaccuracy was a real problem. And there's always this idea that with quarterbacks, you can't improve accuracy. Everything else is improvable. But that's the one thing that you just can't take up at NFL level. In year 1 to year 2, he had a huge jump in terms of his accuracy. And he's just become much smarter situationally. He's been well coached. He just carries that team on his back. And I think he has been the best player in the NFL this season. I already said 2 weeks ago on this show, he was my MVP. This past weekend has absolutely backed that up for me. And they are now in a position where if in January he has to go to Arrowhead in the same way that Lamar Jackson did last year, and when Lamar Jackson did that last year and that Chiefs defense took away everything that they did well and wouldn't let them run the ball, and Lamar Jackson tried to put the team on his back and tried to do it all, he couldn't do it. I would back Josh Allen to put this team on his back and carry them, even though this year the situation's been much better than for him. Joe Brady, brilliant. Bringing in Amari Cooper, great decision. James Cook, great running back. All of that's fantastic. Really great offensive line. But he just is the embodiment of what makes this team great. And if it's not them and the Lions in the Super Bowl, somebody has messed up in a massive way. Like one of those two teams has dropped the ball massively if they're not there, or we've seen a big injury. Actually, this week I got a chance to speak with Travis Clayton. Travis Clayton, British offensive tackle, drafted in the 7th round this year by the Buffalo Bills via the International Player Pathway Program. He's been on IR. He's had shoulder surgery, but he's been around that building and around Josh Allen. And I asked him about the aura around the man and what makes him so special.
Josh is a great guy. Even when I first came through the building, he introduced himself to me. He's just an amazing person overall, and I think everyone can see from watching football on TV, the ability he has is just off the scale, and he is truly an unbelievable footballer.
Travis Clayton there, and look, you can see that whole interview on
Great interview.
Great interview. Oh, thank you very much. Too
Nice
kind.
job, Will.
You can see that whole interview on talkSPORT's dedicated YouTube channel, End Zone. Well worth checking out. And look, really fantastic comments from Bills fans who love hearing from inside that building. What a wonderful fan base. But when I talk about that aura, the 4th and 2 against the Kansas City Chiefs that I asked Travis about, when we've seen Sean McDermott get so much more aggressive this year, something that he really lacked on previously, the Bills head coach. For them to make the decision to go for that, no one in that building, the 65,000 fans, the 53 men on the sideline, the coaches, nobody didn't back him to make the right decision there. They called a pass play, they called a mesh play, it fell apart, he tucked the ball, and he took it all the way to the end zone. And then this week, not only did he have a phenomenal all-round performance, but we actually saw Josh Allen throw and receive the same touchdown, and not in a way of it got batted up in the air, he got lucky, he caught his own interception. But that play where
brilliant.
He threw it ever so slightly behind Amari Cooper, was so annoyed with himself that he'd thrown it behind him that he followed in on it, got the lateral, carried it to the end zone. It made football fun, and it just showed what a special, special guy this is.
I feel like the way that we used to all view Patrick Mahomes in previous seasons, that you could call anything, you could do anything, and Patrick Mahomes is going to get it done. That's what Josh Allen is doing right now. He has matured and evolved and learned so much. And unlike someone like Aaron Rodgers, and I wrote about this, I did a video at talkSPORT, and our rundown show basically feels like Aaron Rodgers should retire right now, right? Like nobody believes in Aaron Rodgers anymore. More and more people believe that Josh Allen can do it this year, and what a story that will be, Will. He seems more confident than I've ever seen him before. This feels like it's Josh Allen's year to be MVP and for the Buffalo Bills to be in the Super Bowl.
To give some love to the Chiefs, we did see Travis Kelce go for the... always seems to be Samaje Perine he's lattering that ball to, by the way. It worked this time. No flags on the play. Brilliant moment. And in a game, we're going to talk about them a little bit later on, that they had to have those moments because they came very, very close to losing to the Las Vegas Raiders. Really want to put a point on that. It's nice to know Mahomes is watching, but as much as he's presenting with this lovely tweet saying, how much he enjoyed that play, there's a little bit of me that I think's annoyed that that's somebody else and not him making that moment.
100,000%. It just, again, continues to feel like something is off with the Chiefs this year. And I love that Mahomes is so on social media. He can tweet about the Kansas City Royals and the women's soccer team and, all the, he follows everything. And I love that. But you can't tell me, Patrick Mahomes is the ultimate competitor. He has that Tom Brady vein in him. He sees what's happening. I love that Mahomes, the previous week, when they barely won, said, we can't do this anymore. I'm paraphrasing him, but I
need some blowouts, please, and thank you.
I need a blowout. And then what happened this week? You can barely beat the Raiders. They should have put that game away. You needed a bad snap from Las Vegas. You know that he's watching Buffalo and he's watching Josh Allen. It's like, that's what we used to do. We used to have fun and we could get everything right. The Chiefs can't do it this year.
And I think that really is what sings to me about those teams at the top of the NFL right now. The Lions, the Bills, the Eagles as well, who I think need to be thrown into that mix, is that all three of those teams are playing top-level football in all three phases and look like they're having a ball doing it. They're blowing teams out. They're properly beating them. They are not having to resort to last-minuteism. From my perspective, I just have to look at the Bills and that record and the fact that they're 4-4 with the Chiefs during the Allen and Mahomes era, but 0-3 in the playoffs.
Let me ask you this, though. Does the upcoming schedule scare you at all, though? Because the thing that I'm still waiting to see this year is separation. There's no parity this year. You're either really bad and you're tanking, or you're meh, or you're 11-1 and you're 10-2, but there's still no real separation. We're still waiting for Detroit. We're waiting for Buffalo. We're trying to see what's going to happen with Kansas City. The Bills' upcoming schedule is still pretty darn rough, Will. And I just know if I'm a Bills fan and I'm part of the Bills Mafia, I look at that thing and you're still a little worried that, just like Detroit, that it's going so well, but could we have the Super Bowl now?
Do you know what? It's only that trip to the Lions that scares me. The Bills, even with the Rams ascending and Sean McVay and everything happening there, the Bills should go there and beat them. And then they get the Patriots twice and the Jets.
Yeah.
They're divisional games, of course, rivalry, form out the window of the Lions, rubbish. The Bills will thrash those 3 teams or those 2 teams three times
what if that
by a
Lions game
combined
is-
score of 60 or 70 points.
What if that Lions game is for a number 1 seed? What a game that would be.
Absolutely unbelievable. Look, I've got the Bills. I've been saying all along, I think they take the number 1 seed in the AFC. We still need the Chiefs to lose a game.
Yeah.
Steelers Christmas Day. They need to probably lose one more because of that Lions game. But the Bills, sensational.